Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get ready to talk shit.
Let's get ready to fuck some shit up.
But down.
Hey. This is something brand new, boy. This is unboxed. You heard? It's unboxed. You know what I'm saying? You got me, Heat Detective.
Brought on my special glove just for the props, just for the propositions.
Yeah. We're gonna change it up. This is the first episode, man. You guys need to go ahead and get tuned in. Let me share the stream. You know, let's just share that for people. If they want to chime in, they can chime in. And we will talk about it. Hey, but before we even go there, man, why don't you be so brilliant and kind to tell the people really what this show is all about?
Well, we wanted to create a platform where we could come on here and talk some stuff about combat sports and UFC and boxing and MMA, because we're two friends that highly enjoy combat sports, and we wanted to talk some shit and share it with the world. You know, why not give our insight and our opinions on what we think is happening in the world of combat? Because obviously, like,
wait, did you say combat
sports? Because I mean, like, when you think martial arts, let's before we start talking about anybody in general and dedicate our first.
With the show, you know, it's called Unboxed. This is episode number 1. So right now, we don't really know what the fuck we're doing.
Yes. So since it's episode number 1, before we start crediting all these fighters and all this stuff, we should go back to like the art of the beauty of combat sports and all that. You know, like let's talk like how long possibly like people have been fighting for greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's have we not always looked for like the toughest warrior? Like, even if you watch movies of, like, you know what I'm saying, great gladiators and stuff like that, we always want to know who the toughest guy is. You know what I'm saying? So throughout generations, people have always cherished the toughest guy. We always want to know who the toughest guy and what is, and I think that's one good reason that it's brought us together and always wanted to talk about this type of sport in general.
Right. Well, it also too, there was a hierarchy. You know, thousands of years ago, you had the kings and shit like that, and then the peasants, they weren't allowed a lot of things, so they taught themselves how to defend their farms and things of that nature. And so, like, it goes back thousands of years.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't claim to be no historian on it, but yeah.
So just so that way we give, you know, talk a little something different.
The Romans had gladiators. You know what I mean? They would put on shows, but they would pit people against people and people against wild ass animals.
And the only thing that has changed is the way that we watch it, because realistically, these guys are all. This is why I wanted to do a tribute and a salute to all of these fighters, because whether we talk shit about them in the future or not, you know, like, these guys are really fighting for their lives. You know, like, absolutely. Some of these guys fight for a paycheck, just like we go to work for a paycheck, and are trying to, you know, hustle on a day-to-day basis. And that's why I salute the entire combat sports. Anybody who's doing that for a living is awesome. And you know, we're going to talk our shit on this sport and give our opinions on who we like and who we dislike. But salute to all of them from the beginning, because it takes us.
Man, I'm glad. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it takes a certain type of person to actually even step in the ring, just like us as artists. Like, you know, I've stood off stage and heard people talking like, oh, I could rap better than that guy or whatever, but they never get on stage. You know, like, that guy actually got on stage. So regardless of how you think you're better than anybody or whatever, those guys actually go out there and risk everything for whatever it is that they call a lifestyle, you know. So salute to them, and the ones that are still doing it
Yeah,
and have done it for generations, from as far as Muhammad Ali,
yeah,
Bruce Lee, to the newer age Conor McGregor's and Islam Makachev's and Israel Adesanya's and Amanda
everyone.
Serrano. Salute to Amanda Serrano.
I knew that was coming, but
I had to kick it off
I'll
with,
also just to put that out there, like for the same reason that you're saying, you know, it takes a certain type of motherfucker to actually get in the ring and actually risk every fucking thing. I'm talking your physical, mental, you risk everything. Win, lose, or draw, you risk everything, and it does take a certain type of motherfucker. And some people might even say that, well, how dare him compare getting on stage and rapping to combat sports. And I'll say this in my co-host's defense, he's not comparing the two. He's comparing that it takes a certain type of individual to be an entertainer or to do things in front of masses of people, you know, and some of them are cheering for you, and some of them hate your fucking guts, and everybody is a armchair quarterback until they got to get in the game.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's true.
Everybody claims they want to fight, claims they could do that, claims they can do that, but you don't know unless you've actually been in it. And so, with that being said, that's a salute to everybody, anybody in combat sports. We know what you're doing out there. We get it. We understand it. And whether we like you or not, we still understand it, and we still have the utmost respect.
Hell yeah,
But
salute to
just
all of
like
them.
assholes, just like buttholes, everybody got an opinion, and me and my guy are no different. We are no different. We have opinions.
I got to
about
quote.
a
I
lot
got to
of
quote
shit that we
I got to quote the famous Mike Tyson. He said, "Man,
gotta make that
everybody's."
sport. You know, I gotta check these fucking dogs again because I think she's fucking got these little puppies in gladiator school. They're trying to see who in the fuck don't survive. Real quick.
They said, his dog just has some puppies, but I'm still gonna say, just like the great Mike Tyson said, everybody seems to have a plan. Not the late great, he's still great and living. Everybody has a plan until they're getting punched in the face, and that's exactly how the whole world works. And combat sports, you could compare it to a lot of things in life, you know, in general. Like, we all struggle and fight for a day-to-day base thing. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wait till he comes back and we're gonna kick off some good conversation. But this is gonna be a dope podcast. We're gonna talk some fights, UFC.
Yeah,
There's a lot of dope fucking fights coming up. The boxing world has some really cool fights coming up now that Francis Ngannou is a free agent. There's some cool stuff happening in the heavyweight division.
But before we even go there, let's just get last night out the fucking way, bro.
Yeah.
That shit took the steam right out of it took the air out of my sails. I don't even know. And usually I'll stay up until fucking, you know, dusk or dawn or whatever in the fuck and watch every fucking fight. I was so out of goddamn energy watching that shit. And that card was fucking trash.
You know what it is? I feel like we've already been so spoiled with some of the cards that we've gotten back to back to back, that when we have like off, because there was like an off week, I think. Wasn't there Bellator on Friday?
Yeah.
And I think that was
something going on.
It was like
Bellator.
Yeah,
there's always something going on. But I mean, we look forward to the UFC.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the top of the line MMA, you know. So it's if you're looking for the best of the best, then normally they're going to be in the UFC. I'm not saying that there isn't other greater competitors in other divisions, but normally like the top of the top are fighting in the UFC. For those who didn't know,
right?
Yeah, they're number one for a certain reason. Whether you like it or don't like it, those guys are definitely the fucking high grade of the temperaments.
Yeah, but the card was trash.
Yeah, the you know, and I think we were talking about it earlier on the phone. What it is that they did like a road to the UFC. I don't want to like I don't want to say it to be wrong, but
I'm
I
gonna
think
say it.
it's like Japan or Asia. They did like Road to the UFC somewhere over there, and that's what they've been doing the last couple
Yeah.
months. Like, so last night's card was based on mainly like guys who were gonna get contracts. I think like 3 guys got signed yesterday. So it
Yeah,
was
something like that.
it was it was one of those cards that, unless you're like a fascist fucking fight fan and like you just don't care for names, then you would have, I guess, enjoyed it. But other than that, like, it was a boring card because you had no idea who the hell was anybody fighting on that card.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's like that, but it turns out to be so fucking exciting. But this didn't have any of that. Like, I mean, it had a couple
Yeah,
of
and that's
moments.
true
I
too.
would
You know
say
what?
a
I'm not
couple of
gonna
moments, but
sit here and take away from any of the prior cards, because I've sat here and watched cards that didn't seem like the prelims end up being great, and you're just like, holy shit, this main card's
right,
gonna be amazing. Because
right,
like, did you just see the prelims and it's a bunch of names that you don't recognize, but still at that level, like you're watching prelims of guys that are at that level. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to tap into the top 15 maybe, or something like that, or so you're seeing guys that are hungry as fucking young a lot of times. And I think usually when they already got that contract is because they're already at a certain
they're at a certain
pedigree.
tier.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I don't think
And
Dana
and
White.
and and not for nothing, UFC is like the top tier, top shelf. Like, if you make it to the UFC, but I honestly, me personally, I don't think it's the best one they have right that's out there, because one FC is a motherfucker,
Yeah,
and I think if some of
when
those guys switch over to the UFC,
they
it'd
would
be a
dominate,
different.
and that's what I was gonna ask too, because don't they use like a different strategy, like not strategy, are there different rules? There's different rules and different gloves,
Yeah,
right?
like, for instance, yeah,
I
no,
think the
I think the
gloves in the
gloves and
UFC. Let me see. Like, I have
what they do have
the
is they
UFC
have a
gloves.
certain system.
Like, not to be weird, but the UFC gloves have like this thing where like they your fingers kind of stay like that. And I think all the other MMA gloves for the other corporations allow their fingers
Yeah,
to
they can move, have more movement.
yeah, like it's something with the fingers. So that's why there's a lot more eye pokes and shit in the there's I don't want to get into too definite
But
specific.
what they do have is that they do when they do like certain championship fights. If it's like 5 rounds, then you have to do like 1 round only Muay Thai, then another round only ground game, then
Yeah,
another round. You know what I'm saying? And then the last round is everything. You know what I'm saying? So it pretty much gives whatever your strong point is, or you know what I mean. Like it kind of like evens out the playing field to an extent if you think about it. So
do
all
you
they kind of like mash all aspects of mixed martial arts all into one. You know what I'm saying? When one fight, so like you get this round, you can't, you can only do Muay Thai, or then another round you can only do ground game jujitsu type shit, or you know what
that's
I'm
how
saying?
ONE FC is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
in the championship, especially the championship fights,
yeah.
which are 5 rounds. But if I'm not, don't quote me on this, people out there, you know what I'm saying? But I know that they do, because I watched Demetrius Johnson when he fought for the belt for the first time in ONE FC, and he lost. They did Muay Thai in the beginning, and then they did some other shit after that, and then they ended up going to mixed martial arts, full on mixed martial arts, and also too, you can knee a motherfucker when they're on the ground too, in the head and face and all that shit.
Yeah,
There's certain rules that don't apply in the UFC.
yeah. I seen
And when
yesterday
Demetrius
there
he
was
just fought again,
you notice a
and he
lot of
beat
rookie
Guzak.
mistakes being made in that aspect in the UFC too, because the rules, I feel like the rules are so different in a lot of the MMA sports that like
Mm-hmm.
particular stuff could easily happen, and you not realize that you know what I'm saying, like those up kicks or like hitting to the back of the head. You kind of have to stay real informed with and also paying attention, because it's
Right.
real easy to like I just bring this up too. Like, I forgot who he was fighting. If I'm not mistaken, he was fighting Conor McGregor. And when Mayweather fought Conor McGregor, he pulled like
Mm-hmm.
he pulled something that I'm sure other boxers have done it in the past, but it was
Dirty
almost like
boxing.
those
Well, in boxing, they
brilliant.
call it like rapid punches or some shit. Is that he
No,
was
where he
doing?
kept turning around and giving him his back, and because it's like if he would
Mm-hmm.
have punched him, it's like an illegal punch. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's almost like you grab him and you
Are you
turn
talking about
around.
Mayweather?
Yeah, Mayweather was, and
Mhm.
I'm not discrediting him. It's a brilliant strategy because you're kind of forcing you're forcing the opponent to reset. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're
Right.
throwing wild or whatever, and you kind of turn around, they can't hit you in the
And
head.
and and you're and you're and at the same time, you're trying to make him have a knee jerk kind of fucking response, and that knee
Mhm.
jerk response would be like if he's really not thinking, he's gonna pull some MMA shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Hold on
But I
one
mean,
second.
there's so many strategies in it, man. Salute to the people doing this, man.
Yes,
Taking phone calls. Yeah, let me call you back, shorty. I'm over here, talking fights with the
that
homie.
was my daughter.
Oh,
She already knows we're on the show because obviously she goes, "Are you on your show?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah,
out, fine."
I am.
But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things that could have happened, and I know a lot of people were concerned with that Mayweather McGregor fight. They were concerned, or were waiting for McGregor to like kick this nigga in the head or some shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
just have just a reaction.
it was funny. I remember when that fight was first announced. What was that like? Fucking 2017, 18.
That
That was
was
a while ago already.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember when that fight was first announced, and I kept saying that I was like, what if this guy just says, "Fuck this, I'm gonna make history," and kick this dude in the. You know what I'm saying? And like, who's fuck
yeah,
it? I lose whatever, but it's like people are gonna remember that forever. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody was able to knock him
yeah.
out, but I fucking kicked him.
Oh, he could have easily done that. He could have easily
And
done that. I also think that that fight in general was just a setup, anyways. Man, look,
no, well,
Mayweather
I heard
picked out
people.
everybody. He picked out the rep. He picked out the judges. He picked out everybody. And when he was McGregor knocked out, and I say that with air quotes because those are two different type of sports, two different type of gloves, and it was at the end of round 10, I believe. Um,
They stopped it.
McGregor would have survived that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, he would have survived that shit, and he would have been able to come back out, and you know, because at that point, for real, he was winning anyways.
who
He
McGregor?
had hurt. God, yeah, he had hurt Mayweather a couple times.
Really, I gotta go back and watch that fight, man. I could have swore I scored that pretty even. Like I like it. I think the class started showing eventually. Like
He would have
Mayweather
never
still.
won. He would have never won anyway because Mayweather had picked all the judges, handpicked, and the ref and everything. So McGregor would have never won outside of a pure knockout. He would have never won. That's just
Yeah,
plain and simple. But what he did do, now let's get to this. What he did do was set the groundwork for a lot of MMA fighters right now that saw something, which also
yeah.
too
For
has been a
pretty much
problem
for
with
the for the
UFC.
megastar
I'm
fights.
talking about boxing, talking about motherfuckers moving over to boxing,
Yeah, for pretty
which
much
led,
megastar
which
fights. You know,
yeah, which
Be-
leads us to what we're talking about today: Francis Ngannou with Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua. That I mean, it's still not official, but if that happens, wow, that would be a fucking. I, honestly, I would go, man.
Hang on, I keep talking. This fucking dog, man.
You know, and this is just gonna be me start kicking it off with some controversy right now. I'm not too big a fan of Anthony Joshua, man, and I think Francis Ngannou, if he catches him, he's gonna put that boy to sleep. He's gonna put that boy to sleep. So I'm going to stick with my boy from the MMA. If he's switching over to boxing. If he fights Anthony Joshua, I believe he will sleep him. I believe he will sleep him.
Let's not forget that the whole reason for him leaving wherever he's from, Ghana, I think he's from Ghana, um, somewhere in Africa, escaping that was to go and box. He wanted to
But
box
then
before he
the
no.
story's crazy. And then he realized he was good at MMA and he liked it a little more. Like I think he's still like a more he's an MMA purist more than just a boxer. I think you know what I'm saying. Like
Right.
he's gonna lean to the. I think he'll do the boxing. He'll get his. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but and I wish that guy nothing but success, man, because this story is so incredible. But he I feel like he's gonna do the boxing, you know, get his niche off over there, and then
Feet
come back,
wet.
probably do the mega fight with John Jones.
Whew.
My boy Jones.
Yeah.
My boy Jones.
Yeah. But I don't know. We already know all it takes is one from Ngannou. Just one.
Ain't worried about that. We ain't worried about that, homie. That's still the mega fight. That's what's selling
That's
that fight. That
calm
is
down.
gonna sell it.
Over there, killer. I'm with you on this. I'm John Jones all the way. But let's be very clear. This man has got the hardest punch ever recorded in the history of mankind.
They haven't recorded my. They still ain't recorded my shit. My shit's.
No,
I got that
shirt looking a little.
I got that twisting jab. Hey, you want to hear a funny story? I tell you a funny story. I was watching some buildup, right, of his, and I found it funny because I remember seeing this like about 2 years ago. Francis Ngannou, maybe a little less. Francis Ngannou had got up with Ryan Garcia. It was maybe a year ago, and I guess he was practicing something with speed, like, which I've always found that weird when heavyweights and like they try to go to like really light guys to learn shit. But I mean, I guess it makes sense when you're skilled. It doesn't matter. You're learning fucking skill. You're not like trying to fight this person.
Right.
But
only a fool would not try to keep learning shit. Period.
Yeah.
Only a fool would limit themselves.
So he's got these videos where he has like this like stomach suit on, right? And like boxers are just like punching him to the gut. And it's like these different what's his name? Ryan Garcia's punching him. And bro, he's not even budging. Like Ryan's fucking throwing that uppercut, fucking and just boom, boom, right? And then like it's funny because you could see Ryan's getting more mad that this motherfucker's not even flinching. You know what I'm saying? So he's like,
clearly you're not used to his Ryan Garcia's TikToks.
But
no, he'll put like somebody else in front, and then he'll come in there and just start banging out, like he'll blindfold him or whatever.
Oh no, he's but what I'm talking about, he's hitting Francis Ngannou, right? And Francis Ngannou starts telling him a story like he's like, when I was a child, I remember like bro, he's getting punched. And then Brian just stopped, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm over here trying to demolish you and you start telling me a story about when you were a kid.
Well, also too, you got to remember that man probably walks around at like 300 pounds, close to 300 pounds.
I think he said like 280.
Just a specimen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where they make them motherfuckers at, but you know, what is he, like 6'7", 6'8"?
It's a dangerous man. It's a dangerous dude.
That is a monster of a man right there.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, to be trained to hurt people. That is well. First of all, I will shoot his ass. I'm not. You know,
such a Chicago fucking. Such a Chicago fucking comment.
No, I mean, are you for real? Like you're gonna stand in front of this man and be like, "Well, fucking let's go, bro." Hell no.
No, I'm tough. I'm not dumb.
I'll pop his ass. Pop him, and I'm gonna talk shit while I'm popping him. Pop. Yeah,
first I'm gonna try to talk him out of it because he seems like a nice guy.
First of all, I don't think a man that size you're gonna be able to talk out of anything. Once he sets his mind to,
he seems like a nice person.
Yeah, piss him off, and we'll see how that works out for you.
I don't think I could do much to piss a guy like that off.
I'm pretty sure you could.
Like, I think if I ran up to him and sucker punched him,
he walked into a room and his mom was giving you head. But you see the chances of that happening are very slim to none. And because one, I would have put myself in that situation. Two, I doubt she would either. By the way, that's a hypothetical situation. It does not exist.
But like, I think if I ran up to that guy and I punched him, he possibly wouldn't even know that ever happened in his life.
He'd be like, "What happened to this little guy? Why would he do that?"
He's like, "Did I get bitten by a mosquito?"
That is cute. That is cute.
That was cute. Did you?
Him to me. I would like to talk to him.
Did you Facebook poke me?
Bring him to me. I want to pet him.
I want to pet him.
Yeah, he didn't put you in his lap and then just starts petting you.
Hey
Yeah,
man,
that's crazy.
all respect to Francis Ngannou. If he ever sees this, we're not roasting. That guy is,
No, no,
like I
no, no.
said,
There's no the
that
utmost
is a
respect.
that is
We're
a
just talking.
if you ever could say a Superman, that is a Superman right there. Would you like
Right.
the body of what you would consider a fucking monster?
Yeah, he's built like an action hero.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so let's get back to combat sports, UFC, all of that.
All of that.
So we know. By the way, again, just in case you tune in late or whatever, this show is not your typical show. This show is what it sounds like, unbox, and we're talking about combat sports,
I don't know what the hell I
the
just
ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the fighters, the pay, the everything. And just to be clear, we may not be correct on everything because a lot of it is just our own fucking opinion. You know,
I'm
you
gonna
don't
be
like the
pretty,
opinion,
I'm
go
gonna be
find
pretty
somebody else.
accurate.
Well, I'm gonna be probably most opinionated then,
I know
but
I just know a lot of shit.
no, I know some shit, but I'm just saying, I'm just trying to give the
Just
people out
being
there,
so
I'm just trying to give the people out there an understanding of this show. And we
we're
haven't even picked out the day in which we're gonna be actually doing this. So this is the first episode of Unbox.
gonna be doing some
And
combat
we want
sports talking.
everybody out there. If you have knowledge of combat sports, or if you are a fan of combat sports, or if you train in combat sports, come on, man, join us. Have a conversation. Let's do it. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And this is a no holds barred ass conversation. So feel free, you know?
So okay, give me your opinion. Who's winning between uh Davis and Garcia? Early prediction. Tanker
I know
Ryan.
who you're talking about. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking if I think Garcia needs to be super smart and not empty the gas tank, you know what I'm saying, immediately. But he's his road to success is going to be to get Tank out of there immediately, though. That's the problem. So that's kind of a conundrum because he can't gas out. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that happen with Tank before. They think they got him hurt or whatever, and then they gas out. Uh, I think Ryan has the power. I think Ryan can put him down. I think that Tank is a target, man. He leaves himself out there as a target, especially that big ass bobblehead he got. But it's a target for real. No, I'm just saying. I'm just speaking on what everybody talks about. Um,
Yeah, I mean I don't want to sit here and disagree. But he's one of those target fighters. Like he picks his target and ain't
yeah,
like
I believe Garcia is much faster than
I feel like I feel like Garcia's a more skilled boxer,
no.
and
You're wrong.
Davis is
Maybe he might be skilled, but he's not. His IQ is not as high as Davis.
that's what
Not
I'm
as high.
saying. Like IQ and I think your skill level is different. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be good
Right.
and like look at John Jones. John Jones is high IQ level, but there's a lot of dope light heavyweights, but not with John Jones. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's like Ryan's a really
He's
good
also
boxer, man.
he's got the skill set and the IQ, and his fighting IQ is overly high. Like it's insane how how he can manage shit. But that's what we're talking about here. Really, we're going to be looking at uh, a fighter with a very high IQ that really gets off really in the later rounds. You know what I'm saying? Um, really paces himself. Now I'm talking about Davis, and really after a certain amount of rounds, then Davis becomes the one who is dictating the fight. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Garcia, his speed and technique, because Davis does he puts himself out there to get hit. Sometimes he's been known to get hit a lot. You know what I'm saying? But also too, I don't think he's had a body shot like Garcia's either.
Yeah.
Garcia is all known for his body shot. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just have one tool in your arsenal when dealing with somebody like Tank. So I know I think the fight's very interesting. I think if it goes past 5, it's Tank. If I think if Garcia can get it he can get it done within 5. So if it goes past 5, Garcia's out of here. If Garcia can get it done, he's got to get it done within 5 rounds.
Okay.
That's just all I'm saying
Okay.
about that.
No,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
We'll
Like,
talk more about that fight as the fight gets closer to. I just wanted to hear like an early prediction on what you thought. Who?
yeah. I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
I mean,
Don't just throw it in my lap.
no, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I honestly think Garcia, but I don't know about the 5. I feel like I feel like they both have a good tank, on them. You know, like whereas in their cardio probably wouldn't wear out too much. Um,
Right. But
as
there's
the fight.
anxiety and everything here too, because Ryan Garcia has also stated he's going to have him out of there within 2.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And with that, you know, you got to understand with that comes a
if
lot of
he
excitement.
allows that, if he allows that to take effect,
He might
like
get in there.
if he
Might get in
goes
there
for
and you know, cashes out within the first 3-4 rounds, and then after that he's in survival mode.
yeah, true.
I mean,
I'm gonna go with
I don't
Ryan.
know.
I'm gonna go with Ryan, man. I think Ryan gets him. I think Davis has a good chance of getting him later in the fight for sure.
That's what I said. No, I think if Ryan can pull it together for the first few rounds, I think
What if
the fight's
so if it goes the distance, who do you think takes it?
and Ryan has been dropped. Ryan Garcia has been dropped.
No, yeah, I know that and and has came back and done some incredible shit. But yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say too. He can be dropped, and I mean, I could see that fight. If it goes to the decision,
Yeah, it's a tough call. That's what makes it interesting, you know, because
I think
oh, I think
I think if it goes to decision, it goes to Ryan. If Tank does it, he's gonna do it by like the 8th round.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, so what do you think Rolly did wrong with Tank?
What?
What do you think Rolly did wrong with Tank?
Man, I don't know.
I think he went in there. He underestimated and he because he was for this, he was doing stupid shit, and the whole time Tank was being patient.
But I also feel like he's overrated, man. I mean,
Who Rolly?
yeah, maybe I'm just
I don't know. Yeah. Garcia was touching his ass up. They sparred together just recently, and I was watching that shit. And Garcia was he was just touching his ass all the way up.
yeah. I mean, not to
And then
talk.
people say that Garcia ain't even
He's
ready.
still young.
Like,
He's still young. He has not. I don't want to take away from him because I feel like he still has to develop. Isn't he like 23 or something?
Yeah, he's young. He's young, but so is Garcia. But listen, people are saying that this is way too much of a step up for Garcia. That this is like he's a couple more tune-up fights because he got dropped by people that Tank ran through.
Did he? I could have swore he only got dropped once.
Well, you know, in combat world, you get dropped once, boy, you might as well call that a forever drop. I mean, you know what I'm saying? People just see that as whatever. You might be right. I don't know.
Like the one time
I think
Mayweather.
he's got dropped like twice because
Mayweather got dropped the one time.
It happens. It's just a matter of what you do after the fact. You know what I'm saying? And after the fact, he was victorious, obviously. But people are saying they're moving him up too fast. The Tank, he ain't ready for Tank. But I also feel like if a fighter says he's ready, and I believe that Garcia is ready mentally. He may not be ready with the skills, but he's I think mentally he's ready.
Either way, that's the fight to make. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody is any more intrigued about any other fight at that weight class than that fight. There's you understand what I'm saying? There's no other. I feel like boxing has deteriorated a lot, man, compared to what like MMA sports are doing.
Let's switch gears to MMA again. Let's switch gears to MMA again. So Demetrius Johnson right now is holding the title in ONE FC.
Uh-huh.
Does that make him? Because I think that once he left the UFC, because it was all like about pay and about shit like that. But once he left the UFC, people kind of forgot about how dominant he was.
Oh man, he's
and how creative he was.
Demetrius is possibly one of the greatest fighters of all time. Like, so
That's what I was. The question was,
if
do you
people,
believe that he's pound for pound one of the greatest fighters,
yeah,
especially at that weight class?
so if like for anybody watching and does like never I got fucking parrots. For anybody and never heard of Demetrius Johnson or and is a fan of combat sports, look that guy up. Such a fucking creative, and
Yeah.
his title runs and all that stuff. Fucking done some amazing shit. But I feel like what happened to him was that he got screwed through the UFC through his UFC run because like he didn't capitalize on the money that like he should have gotten when he was at his
Well,
prime.
also, some people are just they want superstars, right?
Yeah.
And some people aren't. They're just not built. And I'm not saying he's not built for superstardom because he is, but that's not the superstars that people want. They want the shit talking, running their mouth type of champion and things of that nature. So somebody that's a little more subdued and a little more calm about being a champ. People don't want that. They
Also,
want the shit talking crazy.
also the
You know what I'm
promotion
saying?
of the sport. I feel like the sport has also like it's damn near like tripled in fan base, quadrupled in fan base since he was in the UFC, with the
Okay.
expo.
Oh, well,
Uh,
they're no, because they were also saying that he couldn't hold a title. He couldn't hold a card by himself. He didn't bring the eyeballs
yeah,
because what they want the crazy, because they've already seen the blueprint. The blueprint being like a Conor McGregor. He changed the game, so now everybody's talking shit. Everybody's trying to be like that certain type of motherfucker, and it's
that's
kind
what
of
sells. The rest, I
some
mean,
people are built.
the drama in the wrestling sells. And when I say wrestling, is like the WWE and like that type of
Yeah,
creating
the whole soap opera of it. The whole soap opera.
people want,
Yeah.
yeah, people want the soap opera, and that does sell. Like, um, it, I mean, we're
Boxing,
witnesses.
even
We're
boxing,
It's very uninteresting
even
when two guys get along and they're gonna fight. Like it's very uninteresting, and even if it's two great fighters that we know are gonna be a great fight, it doesn't build it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
just sit there and these guys are too friendly. It's one thing they respect each other. It's another thing that they're like friends and shit and hanging out and chit
Yeah.
chatting and
Here's a bottle of here's a bottle of proper 12, and here's a bottle of my hot sauce. Fuck
yeah,
out of here.
exactly. Like I think that was one of Connor's downfalls when he fought Dustin, and
Well,
Dustin wasn't going for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Dustin's like,
well,
I'm gonna fuck you up.
and it's again, this is no disrespect or anything, because we know what it takes to get into the ring. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've sparred before. I've sparred before. I've sparred in boxing. I've sparred in karate, kempo to be exact. I've sparred in mixed martial arts, and even in sparring, if you ain't got your shit together, man, it's so highly it's high octane, bro.
It's
You can
intense.
tell somebody to be easy, but if I pop you in the mouth, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I thought we was taking it. I guess we not taking it easy." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it's something like that can happen in a
and
blink of an eye. So it's like
it
for
happens
people to
all
understand what it really
the
takes
time.
all the time.
You see it in
So
sparring
people,
sessions with the professionals, like how they'll accidentally
yeah,
slip, oh my bad, and they just keep on. And I mean, there's a lot of intensity behind a lot of the build up just to be a fighter, man, or just to be
yeah.
fit to do that shit.
It
Um,
takes, as we were saying, it takes a different type of person.
you know,
And even in sparring, it takes a different type because even in sparring, you can hurt really bad. You know what I'm saying? So like it's hard to get into the mind of someone unless you've actually done the shit, unless you've actually put yourself in that predicament. A lot of guys, again, we talking about armchair quarterbacks and shit. Oh, I could do that. What is he doing? He's throwing a fucking football, man. I throw that shit every day with my son. Oh, really?
but
With like 3,000 pounds of men coming at you, you know what I mean?
well,
That are
fucking
trained to tackle you.
10,000 people are watching, screaming,
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot
Everything
because
is on the line.
even if you're sparring, you know, people in the gym are watching.
Yeah, I know.
And the
I've
next guy's gonna be like, if he gets in the ring with me, I'm gonna fuck his ass up.
Yeah, I've talked to
There's a
guys
lot to it,
that,
man.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to tell people that there's a lot more to it than you think. So don't be the armchair quarterback guy. Respect what you're seeing.
yeah,
Understand. It's hard for some people to understand what exactly they're looking at, because some people say, "Oh, MMA is bullshit. It's just a bunch of dudes rolling around hugging each other." Not true. Take a leg kick and you'll know what the fuck is happening. You know what I'm saying? Immediately you will know. If you don't know how to check a leg kick, you're going to figure out really fast. Imagine that shit at the highest level
yeah. And
in
when you're
taking one of
watching it
those.
too, and you understand that shit, and you see those guys get compromised by, so you're like, ooh, because even like you smacking a funny bone or something against a fucking counter, or just as simple as that. Imagine somebody's throwing. It's like getting hit with a bat in a particular part of your body that you know is going to be
These guys are
a
throwing
lot of pain.
deadly. They're throwing with deadly intention. They're throwing with deadly intention. Deadly intention. Like, I watched the motherfucker get choked out last night. One of them guys, I think he was from Korea or something. I mean, there's a certain point you're being choked that you're when you're conscious, and you know that, first of all, you know you're not getting out of it. Tap, motherfucker, tap. It because thinking you're gonna tough it out is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
This dude's arms look like spaghetti, and it took a second for the ref, even within that millisecond could be life or death for that guy, because his larynx and throat shit could get crushed, and it's a wrap, son. These moves in mixed martial arts were not intended to, keep you healthy and keep you good. These shits were intended to either make you stop with your attack or kill the attack and stop it permanently.
yeah. I'm sure it's a lot healthier for somebody to put you to sleep than to knock you out, though. And I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh yeah.
I'm not recommending either or, but I think I'd rather. I wouldn't want either or, but if I had an option and somebody's like, all right, I'm either gonna knock you out or I'm gonna put you to sleep. I'm gonna probably tell them just put me to sleep, because that I'm gonna suffer from that knockout later, one way or another. It's either I'm gonna be in pain after, or I might have a brain concussion or
You're gonna have
something.
concussive damage. Your
That putting me
body
to
was
sleep,
not
that's
built.
take a little air. I'll be up in a couple
Man,
seconds. I'm
man.
straight.
Right. Hey, I
Just
want to say
just
something on this.
just hold
Since
me.
it's our first,
Don't let me fall. Just hold me.
since this is our first show, I want to give a shout out to Ariel Hawani, because I think he's gonna go down in history as like a Howard Cosell, or he's gonna go down in history as the best. I'm surprised they don't have him commentating, but they don't even need to, because Dana White's got some shit against him. But Ariel Hawani, his podcast,
Didn't he? I mean, he worked with
everything,
the UFC for a while, didn't he?
amazing. Huh?
He worked
Oh
with
yeah,
the.
he did some boxing matches and shit like that. He was good. He had some things with Showtime. Uh, but Dana got him up out of there. Dana got him up out of ESPN. Dana keeps getting him out of everything. But the thing about it is he's so good at what he does. That man can't be stopped anyways. And people need to start giving him credit where credit is due. And I just wanted to throw that out there, because I fucks with Ariel Hawani, man. Shout out to the MMA Hour, man. Hopefully one day we could chop it up. Once we get this show going and popping, one day he'll have us on there and we can chop it up. It's just we're just the common folk over here, you know. Just the common folk want to talk some MMA
Oh yeah,
or
man.
combat sports.
Ariel. I'm definitely a big fan of the MMA hour, man. I fucking dedicate at least an hour or two of my week to catching up either live or
Yeah.
on some of the clips that they cut from the shows, because I mean sometimes I'm watching live because I'm waiting for whoever one of the guests, and
Yeah.
he's a really respected guy in the MMA community and in the fight world in general, because a lot of people know who he is in general. Um, so yeah, man, big shout out to them. And
Let me
but
how about this real quick, like, because we're running, and I got another show to do.
No, yeah, do
But
your thing, man. Well, we could cut it off soon.
no. Hold on, bro. This is episode 1, so we got to tell the people to be looking for us. What day you think is gonna be the right day to do this? And I'm thinking maybe Saturday after or Sunday after the fights, early show, where we give our commentation.
Sundays or Mondays. Monday, beginning of the week.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. People, look out for us. We're gonna be out there.
We'll definitely have a date very soon. We're gonna be talking about commenting on all these great up and coming fucking fights.
2023 is gonna be
giving our opinions, our predictions, what we think, the shit talking, the controversy. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
And make it fun.
Oh yeah. There it is. There it is. You heard it. You heard it from my man, Sarcastic, man. This is Unboxed, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to unbox the boxing, and we're going to unbox the combat sports. We're going to unbox everything. We're going to talk that shit. We're going to get down to some nitty gritty. We're going to explain some things to people so they have a better understanding of MMA or combat sports, because a lot of people just don't like it.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, yeah, and it's not a bad thing. It's a fun sport that a lot of people either aren't into or just don't understand, you know. So I mean, we're here to talk some shit about it and talk some good stuff, give out some good info. Hopefully, eventually, interview some of these cool fighters, you know, because it's only a step away from greatness. Success is only a step away, you know.
Yeah.
Something like that. So somebody great said something like that.
No. It's called 6 degrees of separation. Everybody is only a couple of phone calls or something away to get on a hold of somebody that's already doing something or famous or whatever. It's like 6 degrees of separation. We separate ourselves because we stay in our little comfort zone, in our little bubbles. But once you decide to step outside that bubble and start communicating to people, you will find that you're closer to people.
The universe connects it all. Okay, so before we wrap this up, one more prediction: Islam or my boy Volk? Who's taking? Who's going to become?
Volk. I'm going Volk. I'm going Volk.
Volkanovski.
If he can keep it standing up.
We'll talk about what we think later. I just wanted to say, okay, I'm going Islam. We said it on the first episode. I'm going Islam. You're going Volk. Shout out to Volkanovski, but I'm father.
Hey, next time we do this show, I'm gonna have a chalkboard up here, and we're gonna be keeping track of this shit, because I know how you motherfucker, you gonna fuck around and be like, I never said that.
No, I know what I say. I've been team Makachev and Islam for a long time. Father's plan. You know what I'm saying? I
love my guys, God, man. You watch too many embeddeds. Bro. Stop it.
Hey, no.
Send me location. Send location. Get your ass out of here.
You're not ready. I do like many times, you know. You're not. I grab him and smash him. That's it. He's not ready. He is not on my level.
All right, I'm going Volkanovski. I'm gonna shut him up right now. I'm going Volkanovski. He's going with the crazy hat wearing Russian.
I'm going with Islam.
They do have a lot of savages coming out of that area. But, all right. Well, this has been Unwrapped, episode 1. We're gonna figure it out like we just do.